Hey guys, Bitcoin quick update, lots of airports, lots of in-between, so sorry I haven't been able to update since my last. So you probably already realize now that Bitcoin has thrown it down somewhat and is trading in a 3880 range. We are now, the scenario we most were concerned about has taken place. That's the inverted HVF. I had tried to console you guys on my last broadcast that there was a possibility of an inverted head and shoulders on that low too, but it had stayed in that very low area. If you look at your charts, your 3475, 3480 area, all those were topped out. That turned out to be our high twos and high threes on a squeeze, and we've broken out of that going down, and that is an inverted HVF. You're probably asking now, what now, how far does it go? Now there's a couple of aspects about the message that I'll explain. I haven't actually got time to explain, and it's really only premium material for people that are attending the course, but the long and short answers for you guys in terms of getting a useful piece of information is $3,446 is our downside target for this setup. It is rallying now, but it's rallying now only on account of the fact that we've just run a second interim. So you'll get these rallies. If you are in concern, as you may well be, about Bitcoin, one of these rallies may be a good point to get out while it's in the 3,880 zone and going higher. So as I just grab my luggage and shuffle on after leaving Cairns, I would say the bad news about this being an inverted HVF and clearly triggering. In fact, in our special groups we've been modeling for it for a while, but in some ways hoping not to have to get out of all our alts into Bitcoin and then out of Bitcoin into Tether, because it's quite a lot of churn, quite a lot is lost in that process, especially if it's a jittery market. But the bad news, unfortunately, and I have to give you a little bit more bad news, is that on this time frame, this is the first setup in a new trend. Now, what that tends to mean, and you would learn all about that on a program, but what that tends to mean is there is distinct possibility, not obligation. There is possibility, in other words, it occurs often, that overperformance, that means you can often be at the top of a move that then sells off quite substantially, even beyond the target. So what typically can happen at the target is there is a bit of a reaction and a bit of a rally there, kind of like you get at the interims, only in a bigger scale. So you'd get 3,446, you might get a pop-up again, and then it throws it down and it looks like it has no floor for a while. Now Ripple did that against Bitcoin. When it went right up to 24 to Bitcoin, it's traded as low as 3s against Bitcoin. So just to understand how brutal, when I say overperformance, I mean down, 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 and down. Ethereum did that. I was hated on YouTube when I called a short. It went one last pump up, actually, out of a very bad quality upside. It was actually looking like it was going to be an inverted. We got the direction wrong, and we were concerned that it was going to be downside. It's one of the reasons why I try, wait, and hold off saying to anybody, guys, this is definitely a downside on crypto until it's very, very clear now. People hated on me for that Ethereum call, and then a little bit later we did it again, and that was it. And then Ethereum, had gone all the way up to 15% of a Bitcoin, 0.15, and it just threw it down, 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 and it traded as low as 6%. So, it gave back almost 2/3 of its value relative to a Bitcoin. So now we have Bitcoin in an inverted setup. Not only is it's triggered quite convincingly, and the sell-offs during this pattern that had me worried is, even though we got a good relative high 2 rally when we had the first big sell-off, which became our H1, it came off really, really hard. It just shows there's a sketchy nervousness. The bid is disappearing. When you sell, you're grinding up on the buys, but the bid is disappearing on the sell. So there is an uncertainty, and you might want to contemplate the rallies at the second interim if you're still heavily long, for sitting on the sidelines until clarity and bottoming occurs, and we'll update on that. But yeah, that's all from me. So the target's 3446, but possibility for further downside after that. Currently ran the 3/8s that are second in trim and rallying a little bit. So that's your situation according to HVF method. If you want to learn how to actually implement HVF method for yourself and be part of a group that's doing it, that's been discussing it, I've been able to update and chat to people on WhatsApp long before I've been able to do this. Get in touch on contact us, themarketsniper.com. Contact us. Speak to you soon. Bye.